P for Pulisic, G for Giroud, and Le for Rafael Leão. Pugile is the Italian word for boxer. But we haven't seen too much in the way of fight or punching just yet from the Rossoneri. They're on the front foot here with Musa. Giroud stepped across and it breaks the way of Guendouzi, who then ended up tripping Theo Hernandez, but Davide Massa plays the advantage. Adli. Massimo Paganini, what needs to change in this game for us to see a goal?
Yeah, the pace of the game, you know, is slow at the moment.
Milan demanding handball there off Husai. Musa almost picked the pocket of Luis Alberto, and Romagnoli will have to wrap his foot around this. Instead, the throw has been given the way of the hosts. Painful one for Luis Alberto, who, if you're to believe reports, is to have a new contract extension until 2028, announced on Monday. It would be until 2027 with an option for the final year. That's why he's in pain after tussling with Musa. Calabria with the long throw. Giroud will try and flick it on. Well, it is interesting. We saw Romagnoli warming up with that mask. He's since discarded it. Pulisic. Musa couldn't take it with him. Is it harder to defend when your vision is impaired like that?
Yes, it's really hard, but I think that we have to understand that.
Pulisic. Calabria wants it. Instead, Zaccagni cut out the forward pass. Provedel telling Husai to switch it the other side. Instead, he dawdled and almost gave it away. Finally forward by Alessio Romagnoli. Castellanos goes to ground. Rafael Leão. Now the whistle goes. A foul on Castellanos.
Yes, I didn't finish. If it is dangerous or not, play without the mask. It's not how hard it is to play with or without the mask, but how dangerous it is when you broke your nose or you broke your, your cheeks. It's really important to understand that.
Not nice pictures there of Stefano Pioli sarcastically saying well done to the fourth official, who clearly flagged up the foul to Davide Massa. Doesn't overly enthuse the Italy head coach at the start of this second half. A bit distracted, perhaps.
Maybe, but the first half wasn't so good. We said that we were expecting rock and roll on this match.
That was very calmly done by Casale. He'll have been aware, both from a shout from his goalkeeper and a deathly hush in the crowd, that Rafael Leão was closing him down at speed. There's Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who's since retired but remains a Milan club legend, and in fact he went in and spoke to the players after the derby loss. Stefano Pioli welcomed that. It was on the eve of the Newcastle game, if my memory serves. Pioli always happy to have another voice in the dressing room, particularly when it's a player of the level of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Rovella's relieved. Adli thinks the Lazio man made a meal of that.
Risky situation, this one. Sorella said that was a foul, but I'm not so sure about that.
Forward by Husai. Unconvincing defending from Kier, but then he dealt with it properly. Pulisic for Reinders, and it runs the way of Musa. Still with Reinders. Now it's Musa. Rovella forced him backwards. Calabria. Tomori. Adli with time to turn. Ball is too close to Marusic. Teo Hernandez. Was he caught by Marusic? He was. It's the first yellow card of the evening.
Yes, but we saw before the quality of the ball that come out from Adli is not so good. That accuracy can make the difference, and actually is not doing just because Adli doesn't have that accuracy on the pass. He will see again Teo Hernandez. It's the first time that Marusic suffered that situation, because in the first half he did really well, but he will see again Milan needs Teo Hernandez and Leao on that side, and AC Milan needs that they play really well. It's really important that they are involved in the game, and in a 1-against-1 they win that challenge.
Adam Marusic has started every game for Lazio this season. The Genoa match, the only one he didn't complete 90 minutes in. Pulisic, there's that lovely pirouette. Still with Pulisic. And Provedel couldn't get there. Rangers saying he got a fingertip to it. It is a corner.
Yeah, well done by Pulisic. It's the same thing on the right side with Pulisic. They have to win the 1-against-1. He will see again Provedel arrive just, I don't know if he touched that ball,
Pulisic for Calabria. And now Teo Hernandez. Cut out by Castellanos as Teo Hernandez was seeking to find Rafael Leao. That's a nice give and go. Castellanos, though, has no white shirts in support. And he takes exception to the pull of the shirt from Rafael Leao.
As in the first half, nobody's in front of him. You have to come back, with that ball. It's not so easy for Lazio if you have the ball and nobody is in front of you and do not give you the chance and any solution.
Lazio do understandably have good options on the bench, as befitting their status as a big club. We saw Daichi Kamada and Danilo Cataldi warming up. Here's Husai. Has Zaccagni kept it in play? Davide Massa says no. We also saw the Milan senior management pictured a few moments ago. Sarri saying to the fourth official he didn't feel the ball straight into touch there. Milan senior management, after coming under fire in the summer with the departures of Ricky Massara and Paolo Maldini, have actually shown what a good squad they've built, helped by the proceeds from the sale of Sandro Tonali, so much so that Milan turned a €6 million profit. First time in 17 years that Milan were in the black when it comes to the balance sheet. Not since the days of the late Silvio Berlusconi, so clearly Giorgio Furlani, the CEO, and Jerry Cardinali, the owner, doing something right. Pulisic's ball forward. Casale gave himself a head start there ahead of Giroud. Rovella. Guendouzi. They're a bit short on ideas, Lazio. Rafael Leao appeared to use his arm. The referee spotted the infringement too. He's saying he was off balance and didn't mean it, but it did allow Milan to gain an advantage as it dropped perfectly the way of Teo Hernandez.
But again, Maignan tried to find the forward with the long ball. And Lazio is doing it really well. We said that they have 21 clean sheets last season. That's the reason they defended really well.
Lovely skill there from Pulisic to release Reinders, but Guendouzi tracking back, showing why Lazio recruited him from Marseille. Now being coached by a former Milan man, Rino Gattuso, ex-Milan player and coach. Castellanos shooting a dirty look there at the match official. He felt he should have had a free kick. Adli again spraying it wide. This is Pulisic. He's got the pace here. Pulisic with the ball in. Between them, Rovella and Romagnoli put it behind.
the only chance that Milan have used the width of the pitch with Pulisic on a side and on the other side with Leao. They have to try to win the 1-against-1 and try to deliver that ball inside the box for Olivier Giroud.
10 minutes have gone in the second half, still no way through for the Rossoneri. It's another corner from Adli. Kier was there, away by Husai just about, back in by Pulisic. And neither Provedel nor Giroud were completely convinced there, neither gambled. Casales ball forward, Castellanos. Now a bit of room here for Luis Alberto in which to operate. Akanji have made the run in behind Calabria. Last touch there was off Tici Reinders. Rovello got a shove there from Reinders, but Lazio keep the ball. We've not seen too much from Olivier Giroud on this, his birthday, turned 37. Well, one back by Adli, Reinders for Pulisic. Still with Christian Pulisic, he's got space to shoot, instead he tried to feed Giroud. Very versatile is the American. We saw him play on the left wing in Sardinia because Rafael Leao was rested. Milan unhappy at the decision there. Akanji winning a free kick.
Pulisic can play on the right or on the left. I think that on the left it's his best side because he prefers to drive the ball inside with his right foot, as Leao doing anyway. But I think that Milan needs to involve Leao. I need that Leao should do better, you know, and be more on the game, because sometimes he goes out from the game, or from you know, a lot of times, and Milan needs his performance to win a game. Is really, really important.
Husai breaking forward. Maignan was on his toes, however. Christian Pulisic, in the words of Stefano Pioli, can also play as a number 10, trequartista role. Pioli has not ruled out eventually reverting to the 4-2-3-1 shape that served Milan so well in previous seasons. Reinders. Theo Hernandez. Adli can release Rafael Leao, nicely done. Rafael Leao. And this is Pulisic. Was caught in two minds. Lazio again managed to cope defensively. Theo Hernandez, Tomori. Kier for Calabria. Musa is very direct. He's got away from Husai, but then went back outside him. Calabria with the early cross, away by Marušić. Adli, Reinders, Rafael Leao, and now Pulisic. Brilliant goal from Milan. Finally, they put the passes together and they opened up Lazio. And it is Christian Pulisic who makes the breakthrough here on the hour mark. The new look Milan showing their title credentials.
That's what we were talking about. You know, Leao is involved in this situation, this piece of play, and wing to the other wing. That ball arrived perfectly. Here we see the movement. Reinders that verticalized, the cutback perfect by Pulisic that used the movement of Giroud that stretched the defense, gave put his eye on that position, and Pulisic arrived on that ball. Easy for him, nothing to do for Provedel.
He has taken to Italian football like a duck to water. The US international Christian Pulisic scored on his debut at Bologna, made it 2 goals from 2 in the heavy victory here over Torino. And now, just when Milan needed someone to step up, it's one of their new faces who has grabbed a big goal.
Anyway, really important the movement by Giroud that take off his eye from his position. His eye have to follow him inside the box and give the space and time for Pulisic to arrive on that ball.
Provedel got a hand to it, or more than that, couldn't quite keep it out. It seemed to make the finish look easy, Massimo, and he had a lot of time to think about it. Here's Zaccagni as Lazio tried to respond. Reinders tracking back. Zaccagni, Milan have a player down. Lazio keep playing. Luis Alberto, Rovella. It's back with Luis Alberto. Rovella came off Giroud. Casale, Guendouzi for Marušić. Felipe Anderson is in a pocket of space. Marušić with the cross, away by Theo Hernandez. Felipe Anderson. Luis Alberto waits on the edge of the box. Here he is now. Zaccagni, Husai making the run. Zaccagni, he used the space, opened up, but couldn't bend it.
Yes, but maybe now we have a game. You know, it's changed the pace of the game. That goal could change all things. He will see again. It wasn't so easy for him anyway. It's his weaker foot. He's comfortable with both feet, but that's the weaker foot.
And is that what Adli provides that Krunic doesn't necessarily offer?
Yes, of course. He did well in that position, and he started that piece of play. You know, and I think that in this second half he's just a little bit more involved in the game. So it's very important for Milan when they have to build up from the back. I think that Pioli spoke to him, and he said to him just to move a little bit more, just to receive the ball and try to build up.
We're showing just what a great record Milan have in this fixture against Lazio. 6 wins from the last 7 against the Biancocelesti on this ground in Serie A. As things stand, it's going to be 7 victories from their previous 8 meetings here. Pulisic with the flick. Musa now. Pioli wants a foul, and the yellow card is shown to the former Milan captain, Alessio Romagnoli. Once again, you can bid for that ball. Socios.com collector's item. The opening goal scored by Christian Pulisic in the game between Milan and Lazio. And again, we're seeing the importance of Rafael Leao. Scored in the win at Roma. Got Milan's only goal in the derby to put them temporarily back into the game. Got the winner against Verona. Now it's his assist for Pulisic's goal here. But Lazio surely, if he is fit enough, need to turn to Immobile, and the fact he's on the bench leads you to think he must have something within him tonight. Rafael Leao for Reinders. Musa's in the middle. Reinders, Rafael Leao ran into Luis Alberto, and that's going to be a yellow card for stopping a possible counter-attack.
Yes. And he's disappointed because that control could give him the chance for a shot. You know, it was really important. Reinders did a really good run and he will see again the foul by Rafael Leao. The control wasn't so good for a player like him of his class.
Milan have kept Lazio at bay though, and that is an encouraging theme in this match in light of the novelty, which is that Milan have taken the lead. Rovella, Guendouzi, didn't realise what was behind him. Tomori's won it back. He can play it Giroud. Tomori went himself with Leao to one side and Giroud to the other, a centre-back.
Yes, he's a defender. We saw, you know, in that situation, because he had a chance to give the ball or to Giroud or to Leao on the side or on the other side. He decided to run with the ball until the space was too close and he couldn't do anything on that situation.
He did score at Cagliari, Tomori. Perhaps he wanted to find the net in back-to-back games, but just for a moment he thought he was Franz Beckenbauer. Here's Rovella. And if you're too young to remember Beckenbauer, get on Google and look him up. He's one of the legends of the game. Speaking of players that scored in midweek, here's one for Lazio, Mattias Vecino, who broke the deadlock against Torino. He's on for Rovella. Kamada is now on for Guendouzi. Kamada, the new signing, who made a real splash at the Maradona by scoring what was eventually the winning goal for Lazio. A player who's a bit more dynamic now in the midfield for the Biancocelesti. Zaccagni away from Pulisic momentarily. Luis Alberto. Here's Kamada for the first time.
It's more offensive, Lazio, with Vecino that will play as a playmaker but could run inside the box, and Kamada that for sure he's an offensive midfield player.
Mattias Vecino, once of Inter, so much so that he's scored in a couple of derby victories for the Nerazzurri against Milan. So the Rossoneri public won't have fond memories of the Uruguayan. Calabria unable to stretch. There's still time for Maurizio Sarri's side. They won't want to have 7 points in the table after 7 games. They still began this match better off than their cross-city rivals Roma, who, like Lazio, were beaten by Genoa, albeit whereas Lazio lost by an odd goal. Roma were thrashed 4-1 at Marassi. What is happening in the capital, Massimo?
Yes, I really don't know, because this one, if Lazio will be defeated by Milan, it will be the fourth. You know, it's too much for a team like Lazio in the first matches of the season.
Vecino. Kamada. Marušić. Felipe Anderson. Milan have got numbers back here. Lazio unable to move the ball quickly enough. Casales' cross. It's a hopeful one in the end that Castellanos was unable to latch onto. Time for one of the new faces who got his Milan goal in midweek, Noah Okafor. No goal for Giroud on his 37th birthday, but he remains one of the first names on the team sheet. Okafor will play at centre forward, and Yacine Adli comes off for Pobega, so we might see what Pioli has mentioned is a possibility. Reinders playing as the holding midfielder.
Yes, I think he has that quality, you know, to play on that position. I think he can verticalize, can play lots of balls. He's more involved in the game, so Milan can take an advantage on that.
And so too, the captain is withdrawn. Calabria fit again, lasting 70 minutes. Whilst he's been on the pitch, Milan haven't conceded. He'll be asking Florenzi to make sure that remains the case come full time, and nice to see Florenzi also healthy too. He's already played more minutes this season than he did in the entirety of the previous campaign. Good battling by Castellanos. Felipe Anderson. This is Marusic. Vecino. Zaccagni. Vecino. Kamada. Okafor is the alternative to Olivier Giroud at centre-forward for the moment, because Luka Jovic, another new signing, is not at 100%. If and when Milan can get everyone fit and available, they will have a big squad to pick from. Romagnoli, Zaccagni. Luis Alberto felt he was blocked off by Pobega. Lazio keep possession. Mattias Vecino, Daichi Kamada. On it goes for Felipe Anderson. Lazio have barely been an attacking force in this game. Can they make something happen in this second half? Kamada. Romagnoli. Zaccagni, lovely ball that. Husai unable to retrieve it, and Tomori got a little bit lucky. If you're a Lazio player there, would you prefer the referee to blow for a free kick on the edge of the box?
I don't know, they continue, you know, in the last two minutes Lazio has the ball possession. So I think that they could create just a little bit more. Anyway, the free kick will be too far from the goal, so it's not really important, I think, have a free kick in that position.
Husai has kept it in after a lovely touch from Luis Alberto. Husai needs some help, and they outnumbered him there. Musa. Pobega for Reinders, and now Pulisic has space to move into. Okafor waits in the box. It was towards Musa. Here is Musa now! Almost an American double. Pulisic with the first, and Musa denied by Provedel.
Maybe just a little bit lucky where the ball remained there, but well done by Pulisic that saw him. A great control, great turn, and a perfect effort, but Provedel was there. A great save by the goalkeeper.
If Pulisic has starred, Musa striped one there. Pulisic with the corner, and Tomori, having scored against Cagliari, this time heads it straight at Provedel. Free header, Massimo, should he have done better?
No, he couldn't, you know, because that ball was really high. He couldn't give enough power to that header.
Immobile and Pedro are ready to go. More Lazio changes of foot. Pedro has barely played this season. He's had just 5 substitute appearances for 73 minutes combined. When you add what he'll play here, it's pretty much in line with his average appearances. Very hard to make an impact when you're only afforded a quarter of an hour, but that's what the Spaniard's been given here. And Castellanos makes way for Immobile. The armband has been passed on by Luis Alberto, and now would be the time for Immobile to add to his 196 goals in Serie A. Husai. Zaccagni. Not sure Luis Alberto wanted it there, but he made it look effortless in readjusting. Kamada. Now Pedro. Pedro's effort straight at Maignan.
Immediately, Pedro decided to drive, to run with the ball and drive the ball inside. He's really comfortable with both feet, and he had that chance. The effort wasn't so good, but anyway, Lazio started to do just a little bit better and try to put under pressure Milan. Now they need what they need to do is try to score a goal, you know, but they have to do it if they play really high and put Milan under pressure.
Good take from Pulisic. Pobegga's breaking forward from deep. Now it's with Reinders. Here he is, Rafael Leão. Now it's Theo Hernandez, and here's Pulisic again. This time it was straight at Provedel, but on another day could have easily had a couple. Christian Pulisic.
But again in the right position. Again a cutback that arrived from the side, and Pulisic was in the right position again.
Rafael Leão beginning to wander. Reinders. Lazio in danger of losing fourth match from their opening 7, as Massimo mentioned. They were beaten in each of their first 2, surprisingly. Squandered the lead at Lecce and lost by 2-1. They were beaten at home by newly promoted Genoa. You can legislate for a loss away at Juventus, but it's the first 2 matches which have really harmed them. Sarri spoke ahead of this game saying that wanted his Lazio side to win so that they could actually make up for the points they dropped in those opening 2 matches. Musa has released Pulisic. Okafor seeking out the ball in the middle. Theo Hernandez has somehow kept it in play, much to the delight of San Siro. Rafael Leão. Time and space for Reinders. Reinders now. This is a great run still. Tijani Reinders. He just cut across it.
Yeah, great run, but too easy for him. Arrive inside the box, and with an effort again, you know, outside just outside the target, but too easy for him to cut with that ball, you know, inside the box and try to shot. But shoot.
Another impeccable display defensively from Victor Mori. They really missed him in the derby defeat, but since he's returned, certainly atoned for that needless red card at Roma, which cost him his place in the side against Inter. Positive defending there from Husai. Luis Alberto was offside. The crowd think he was interfering with play. Zaccagni, now the flag does go up.
Yes, because Chiara have to intervene on that ball. And Luis Alberto was just behind him. He will see again. But that ball by Leão, that run with the ball, get the ball perfectly to Theo Hernandez and Pulisic. That shot was too perfect, you know, too perfect in the middle of the target.
If Milan can hold out for the clean sheet here, they'll really put the pressure on Inter, who play later at the Arecchi against the Salernitana side, who are yet to win a match.
Is what Milan have to do, you know, put Inter under pressure. They have to win, try to win this game, because 10 minutes left plus added time. But Milan is doing really well anyway tonight. They didn't concede too much to Lazio, and they are trying to create a lot.
Pobegga, and now Okafor. Provedel was there ahead of him, but Rafael Leão bringing out the trickery to find Pobegga.
Yeah, with Okafor in front, they should play with the ball on the ground. Is better for them.
We've seen Pulisic score. Okafor now leading the line. It's going to be another of their many summer signings. Samuel Chukwueze hasn't yet got his first Milan goal, but you sense it's only a matter of time. Rafael Leao on the half turn, Okafor there with him. Rafael Leao, though, only has eyes for goal. He's got at least an assist today. He wants to grab another goal. It's a really interesting title race, yes, but equally an enthralling battle to become capocannoniere. Osimhen made it 5 in the league already with that goal at the Via del Mare. Lautaro Martinez has the same number. Berardi with 4, Giroud and Chiesa have 4 as well. Vlahovic with 4 goals. All of the big names in this league are making a break to finish as top scorer in the league. Ciro Immobile of Lazio knows all about that. 4 times he's finished as capocannoniere. Good control from Pedro to escape the attentions of Theo Hernandez, who then went lunging in. Sarri wanted a free kick. Lazio still have it. Zaccagni. This is Luis Alberto. We saw him score for Mare against Juventus.
Yeah, it's a good piece of play, and Luis Alberto find the right space and the time to have a shot, but not so accurate. He will see again Reinders that arrived there. Maybe, you know, he had a chance to find the target. The angle was tight for sure, but he did really well with that run.
This is Isaacson on for Zaccagni. Gustav Isaacson, who's a Dane, joins his compatriot Simon Kjær on the same pitch, albeit on opposite sides. Christian Pulisic goes off to a big round of applause, because it does appear that his 3rd goal in the league this season is going to be enough to give Milan maximum points. And like a golf joke there between Pioli and Pulisic, perhaps in reference to the Ryder Cup, in case the American's keeping an eye on that. If he is, it's been pretty bad news for the American contingent. I'm delighted to say Europe on top down in Rome. It's topical, Massimo, it's relevant because it's being played in the Eternal City. Musa for Chukwueze, here's his first involvement. Chukwueze dropping the shoulder not once but twice. The second one was a little gratuitous. Luis Alberto under pressure. Lots of it, in fact. If in doubt, put it out. Providel, that's inch perfect for Isaacson. And that might be a yellow card for Theo Hernandez. Milan's 2 men down the left-hand side. Rafael Leao and Theo Hernandez have both gone into the book. The bad boys. Romagnoli won't want to be on the losing side again against Milan. Vecino, Hussein, Florenzi tussling. Okafor collided there with Kamada. On we go. Has been a case of arbitraggio all'inglese, English-style officiating from Davide Massa this evening. He's let plenty go. The game has flowed as a result. Might be something that these two teams will see a bit more of next week. They take to the European stage again. Marušić for Immobile. Tomori read it well again and was able to clear too. Milan won't want to sit too deep here and invite Lazio pressure. Pedro, time and space for Daichi Kamada, and so too Luis Alberto. Isaacson, he'll try again here, Isaacson, clever feet, great challenge from Florenzi, and the celebration to follow.
But well done by Isaacson, that did really well. He will see again the stop by Florenzi, that with that tackle, maybe, you know, might do not give him the chance to find the target.
Florenzi showing his value there to Milan. All of his experience meant that he covered across from right back and knew exactly where to be to make sure he could shut the shot down. Yellow card for Maignan for time wasting, taking a little too long over this goal kick. Last touch coming off Gustav Isaacson on the way out. Tomori's clearance, Okafor unable to control. Milan need him to be able to hold the ball up now. Luis Alberto, Isaacson, Immobile. This is Marušić. Isaacson again demanding the ball. It's broken the way of Isaacson, but he couldn't curl it into the far corner.
Yeah, Immobile was asking for that ball. Now Milan and Lazio are playing with inverted wings. It means that the two wings should drive that ball inside with the strongest foot. Too pretentious, that shot.
It's a long time since Lazio last won in the league on this ground against Milan. Came in November 2019, so we're approaching 4 years. Goals from Immobile, yes, and Joaquin Correa. Here's Rafael Leão. Second goal would make absolutely sure. Rafael Leão, and in it goes from Okafor. It's 2 assists from Milan's main man, Rafael Leão. And Okafor, who struck in Sardinia, has put Lazio out of their misery here. Milan on their way to maximum points.
We were asking for him, but when he should do things like that, he's unstoppable, really unstoppable. 1 against 1, he's going with Casale, stretch Casale, find the line, and then with a perfect cut back, find Okafor in the middle of the box. Too easy for the forward, but what a play by Leão. Again, classy, from him. Again, great chance for him to show that he's one of the best players in that position.
Pioli has demanded consistency. Pioli wants to see Rafael Leão at his scintillating best, week in, week out. And with the 2 assists tonight to open up a cagey contest, the Portugal international has done exactly that. And if Milan are to again win the Scudetto, they might need displays like these out of Rafael Leão time and time again. The most valuable player in Serie A when Milan won the Scudetto, and he remains their prized asset. Marušić, Kamada. Still Daichi Kamada. Marušić can deliver. Maignan was able to cling on. And we're just seconds away from moving into added time. 5 added minutes, says Massimo Paganin. We'll see how much he knows about football. Chukwueze. Give that man a prize. He clearly knows what he's talking about. Massimo 1, Patrick 0. Reinders, Vecino was there, now it's Immobile, Isaacson ahead of him. Great challenge from Reinders just to stop Immobile momentarily. It's back with the Lazio skipper, Pobega cuts it out. Isaacson, Pedro. Luis Alberto should be comfortable for Theo Hernandez.
But again, too easy for Milan to defend. You know, the Lazio didn't create any trouble to Milan defense tonight. Too easy for Milan defend.
Marušić. We have seen that when he's in this sort of form, when he's in the mood, Rafael Leão, very few players can live with him in Serie A. And Lazio, for all their brilliant defensive record last season, had no answer to Rafael Leão. Isaacson, Pedro. Immobile couldn't control. Husai has. It would just surely be a consolation now if Lazio were to find a goal. Luis Alberto. Immobile on the half-turn. Reinders has intercepted and found Theo Hernandez. Milan wanted a third, but Okafor couldn't slam on the brakes. He was wrong-footed by his teammate, and the referee has now stopped play because Theo Hernandez is down. Technically, unless this was a foul or a head injury, shouldn't really have done that.
Again, what a class. Oh, in the first touch, it was the first one against one. He was onside, for sure. But again, he's going to run to Casale, and then, you know, he found the right space. The timing was perfect. Here we see again, absolutely fantastic. Probably they'll just try to stop him, but absolutely nothing to do.
Provedel's ball forward. Florenzi, I think that was a shot.
Me too. I think he tried to shoot, you know, because Provedel was outside from his target.
Vecino, Luis Alberto. Pedro now operating on this near side. Luis Alberto. Tomori with another supreme performance. It's going to be a very strange Rome derby at this rate, with Lazio and Roma really toiling in Serie A. Luis Alberto with the flick, Immobile. Back now for Pedro, and still Pedro! That's absolutely class. Vecino asking what is wrong. The whistle's gone, and that's why, offside.
It was offside by Ciro Immobile, I think. From the first touch, he comes out from the defense, and not this one. Not Kamada. But what a goal anyway by Pedro. Fantastic, absolutely.
You said he's very good on either foot there. His first effort we saw was with his left. This one was with his right into the top corner.
You don't know if it's right or left, because
we're going to make absolutely sure that the goal was indeed offside. Paolo Mazzoleni, the video assistant referee, checking now the footage. Immobile there, as the flick was made by Luis Alberto. That's why the flag went up from the assistant, who correctly waited for the move to be at its conclusion. That's what allowed us to have the scope to reverse that decision. It wasn't required. Good officiating from the assistant. An even better finish from Pedro, but no goal to go away with from San Siro. The 5 added minutes are up. We should have time just to take this corner. And if Milan are really determined, they could yet add a third to what has already been a very impressive win. Musa, Florenzi, Raffaele, Chukwueze. Milan keeping the ball down by the corner. Raffaele for Florenzi, and now Chukwueze. It's a good block there from Romagnoli, who's not happy with his teammates.
I think that Chukwueze had a chance immediately to have that shot, and he decided just to turn on his left foot. It was too late.
Noah Okafor added the second to make absolutely sure of the victory for Milan after Christian Pulisic got another goal for the Rossoneri. 3 wins prior to the derby, 3 wins the other side of that 5-1 loss to Inter. Milan go top of the table for a couple of hours at least. Quite the showing to defeat Lazio. The Biancocelesti lose for the 4th time already this season, and it has not been a good start to the season for Maurizio Sarri and his men. But 2 of the new faces get the goals for the Rossoneri. Pulisic and Okafor give us a full-time score of Milan 2, Lazio 0.